Hello, people that how's all doing today? I'm going to be talking about that we should honour Ireland's history and Ireland's past and honour the people of the past. If you ever heard that phrase before, we should honour our people of our past. We should honour our elders. Have probably people heard of that? We should honour our elders because they've been through a lot more. Every generation is better off than what the other generation was, if you get what I'm saying. So this generation's better off with technology than it was back, say, in my mother or my grandmother's time. It would have been a lot better off than it is now. It's better now than it was back then. That's what I'm trying to say. Uh, but this is not about that. This is about history and about the men and women that fought for this country's independence, that brought this country to a powerhouse, to country, the country that we know today. That's putting it in better words. Uh, like loads and loads of historical Irish people. Wolfe Tone, a great leader of a great hero of Ireland. The O'Neills in Ulster, they were great people. The O'Reillys in Cavan, actually, speaking of it, that built a historical castle in the middle of a lake with no cranes or nothing, made out of stone. I mean, nowadays you could barely make castles, let alone build a castle, in the middle of a lake, getting materials by boat, by big stones. I mean, it's ridiculous. And carrying the stones, not like it's in the middle of the lake. How could you do it? I mean, even nowadays we couldn't even. It's just it's stoic how people of Ireland were able to build. And just speaking of how people build, Newgrange. How in the name of the dead generations did anybody build Newgrange? I mean, it is older than nearly the pyramids in Egypt, and people managed to build them even before even Jesus was born. I mean, good Christ, not even there was probably not even cranes. There actually wasn't even cranes. It's just, oh my God, it's so crazy how people could build these things in this country. That we were in front of the rest of the world at that time, and that's back in, oh my God, it's a long, long time. And people were able to build big castles in Ireland, big mansions of castles. Like Dublin Castle is no exception, but that was built a bit on because of the British Empire, which happened. But I'm really talking about, suppose, the 18th century up to the now, 18th century up to now, so 19th century too, because a lot happened in the 19th century in Ireland. Ireland went through the biggest revolution it's ever going to go through, and it's never going to go through a bigger one. So the beginning of the 18th century, we had loads of things happening in the world, and then Ireland was getting involved in a bit scuffles and all that. Then 1845 came around, and half of our population was killed by famine because of the British Empire. And then 1 million people emigrated to the United States, and so forth and so on. And then another million people died. Zippers that died in the middle of the roads. Nobody cared about them. They were just left to rot in the middle of the roads by the British Empire. Because the Irish people are nearly dead, so the British Army couldn't really care. As long as you didn't resist, then they really couldn't care. Uh, then there was a rebellion in 1888, which was in Wexford, which was very good, which was, I don't know where he is. Well, it was very good. We won a few battles, but the British Empire kind of took everybody's head and hanged them on spikes. That's basically what I'm going to say. Even the priests they hanged it on spikes. So yeah, anybody going to explain that? How is that justice and how is that fair? Try or no try at all? Just putting them heads on spikes. How is that trial? And then 1901 and all that. Not really much happened in this country, but then it comes to 1912, the Titanic and all that. Then the Dublin lockout of 1915, and then the Easter Rising in 1916, which is where we kind of are kind of getting up to now, because we rebelled against the biggest empire in the world at the time, and I suppose people could say we ruined half of Dublin, the Webbers, by taking on the British Empire. As Eamon de Valera famously said, we wouldn't millions of miles away from the British Empire, we were white in front of them, which is the truth. It's alright if a rebellion took place in India or in Australia. There'd be British troops there, but there wouldn't be tons and tons of British troops there. You know what I'm saying? It'd take longer to get reinforcements from the British main island to Australia. It'd take a week in that time. But Ireland took on the Empire of Britain. They were right in front of us. Dublin was right in front. Liverpool was right across the world, and not even that far away from. The Isle of Man was only meters away from Ireland. So they were right in front of us. So the reinforcements they obviously knew the sacrifice they were making, because it was just suicide going in. But they honoured. Let's just put it this way: they made the sacrifice. They made the sacrifice not in vain. And we should always remember their sacrifice for this country, and for this land, and for our freedom ourselves. Even to this day, we would be under British rule if they haven't took their stand against the British Empire and sadly sacrificed their lives to honour this great country and in hopes of a new country. Like, we were right in front of the British Empire. The British Empire set a ship up the Liffey, which is the river in Dublin, with tons of reinforcements. As simple as that. Whatever we could do with the troops that were based in Dublin, we could fight them off. But as soon as the reinforcements came, the gunboat Britannia came up the Liffey, it was no hope. There was literally no hope, because there's just way too many troops, they said. And you know, if we were suicide mission, but we fought them, and we sadly lost so many troops. And the only reason why they were ever surrendered, and the British Empire would never back down, as simple as that, it was only because there were so many civilians dead that James Connolly thought, why should we kill more Irish civilians? We should just give up, because they were the ones fighting the British Empire, not the civilians of Dublin that were hiding in houses, and the British Empire going and shooting them, and not shooting them for any reason at all, just because they felt like it. So they done the right decision instead of killing the whole population. But what the British done afterward really, really pissed off our of Ireland, and really brought tons and tons of people to the cause of Irish freedom, was because they executed every one of them and didn't give them a trial nearly at all. Which is why I've been talking about this, but we should honour our past. That was just a brief history lesson. We should honour the men and women of 1916. We should honour the men and women of the Irish War of Independence. We should honour all their men and women that fought for Irish freedom and for the country that we know today. So I would like everybody just think about James Connolly or Michael Collins or Tom Clark or Padraig Pearse, or any of them leaders of 1916, to just think of them now and just say a little prayer, if you could, that the soul and the dreams of a free Irish state will always live on in the memory of the Irish people. Thank you for watching, subscribe for more, and yeah, bye.